Hey Internet, it's Aaron, your personal driver, and today we're going to be talking about the new tipping option that Uber is going to be rolling out over the next 180 days. I'm going to show you what it looks like in the actual app, I'm going to tell you how it's going to affect you, and then we're going to have just a broad discussion on tipping in general. Mystro! So as of right now, Uber is going to be, over the next 180 days, rolling out its new tipping feature, among a bunch of other things that they're going to do to help improve the drivers' lives and the driver's relationship with Uber. Now, currently, tipping is only available in 3 cities, and I live in one of those cities. I live in Seattle, Washington. So I'm going to be able to show you what tipping looks like in the actual app, how you know if you got tipped, all those kind of fun things. Because I've had tipping here for about 2 weeks, so it's been pretty awesome, and I'm pretty excited about it. And I'll show you about it. Then I'll talk largely about how it's going to affect you more as a driver. So if you're new to the channel, I'm going to post a video here, and on that video I just talk about how you get tips, how to be a good customer service rideshare driver. Also, if you're new, go ahead and feel free to subscribe so you can get updates when I do my live streams on Friday and Saturdays, and when I upload a new helpful video every Monday. Okay guys, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pop up my cell phone here next to me, and we're going to go on a little bit of an adventure. I'm going to show you what it looks like in the actual app. So here are my earnings from last week. You can see I worked Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Saturday I did not work in Seattle, so there's no tipping option available in Olympia, Washington, where I was working. So as you can see here, I made $16 in tips, and I had instant pay of $2 because I'm an addict of instant pay, but let's just ignore that for this video. So let's go and look to see what I did on Friday. This is what it looks like. So when you go in here, it'll tell you the earnings here at the top, the tips here in the middle, and then how many hours you drove, how many trips you completed, okay? And as you scroll down, you'll notice there'll be little icons right here that say how much money the trip was plus the tipping amount. And if you click on that, and if you click on that, it'll say tip with a little green check mark on it, so you know that that specific trip you did get tipped. And if you scroll down, it'll tell you exactly how much you tipped. And so as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 20 rides, I got tipped 5 times. And that is addition to cash. I also made about 30 to 40, 30, I can't exactly remember, I think it was $37 in cash, so $47. And I'll do the math here, but $47 from 239 is pretty good. Also, if you look at my total trips, so that's almost $2 additional a trip that I'm getting through tipping here in Seattle, so that's nice. And all that came from the app. And then on Sunday, I earned $6 on 14 trips, so that's really good. I mean, that's almost every other trip tipped me, see? So here you go, showing all the different kinds of tips. Oh, as you can see on Sunday, I made $6 in tips on 14 trips. Also, I made cash. I need to start keeping better track of my cash tips. I don't know exactly how much I made on cash, but here you go. I had a $1 tip as you can see, I had a $1 tip and I had a $5 tip right here. So again, you click on it and it shows you the trip, distance, pay. It shows you the payout for distance, time, the tip, and then I had a little bit of surge on there too. Okay, now let's look at yesterday, last night. I did 17 trips, I got $5 in tips, and I did $205 in daily earnings. I also made $28 in cash. I did count that last night. And as you can see, I had one tip that day, $5 at the very beginning. So I made just over $30 on, so I just made over $30. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about how the actual tipping works in the actual app for the customer. So there are a few barriers to entry. In order for a passenger to tip you, they have to rate you first. And to give you an idea of what that looks like, so last week I drove 43 trips and I only got rated 21 times. So right off the bat, half the people I gave rides to never got the option to tip me in the app because they didn't rate me. So only 21 out of 43 people rated me. So only 21 out of 43 people had the option to give me a tip. And of that, I think what we decided 6 gave me tips. So a little bit more than 25% of people who rate you are tipping me according to the way it's worked the last 2 weeks. Another example of this, so I gave 37 trips and only 13 people, so roughly a third of the people that I gave rides to even rated me. And so that means only a third of the people even were available to give me a tip. So keep that in mind. So that's something you gotta consider if you're not getting very many tips, is that you're probably gonna have to give a lot more rides because you're gonna have to compel people to actually give you a rating. One more thing you have to keep in mind is that if a passenger hasn't updated their app since last week, then they're not gonna be able to tip you, because the tipping feature is something that only happens in updates. So if a customer asks if they can tip you in the app, make sure you say two things. One, yes, but you have to update your app, and two, you have to rate me. Actually, I flipped that. Number one thing I make them do is rate you. Say, yeah, just after the ride, make sure you give me a rating, and then you'll be able to tip me. So now that tips are available, what should you do in your business model? And I'll say this, if you're not getting tipped right now on the app, you're still not gonna get tips. Like, it's not because of Uber making it easier to tip, is because your business model isn't very good. One more time, I'll post a video up here about how you get tips. Very often, I'll get 20 to 30% additional income because I'm making that in tips. Up until now, it's only been in cash on Uber. So I'm hoping that over time, once customers get used to this, it'll also increase on the in-app tip option. But as of right now, it can't hurt. That's what's fabulous about it. But what I'm trying to tell you is, you have to make sure that you run your business in a successful way that's gonna compel passengers to think you're special and go into their pocket and give additional money to you because of how awesome you are. Now, for those of you doing Lyft, you're gonna roll your eyes at this video and say, yeah, we've been having tips for years now, yada, yada, yada. And yeah, I would say that when I take Lyft, that being said, passengers who have and use the Lyft app are used to tipping because they've been doing it for a long time. And my hope is going forward, it'll become more of a ritual and more of like a norm to tip in the Uber app. So that's what we can hope for. The last bit of business advice I can give you is give everyone 5 stars, because that's what I do when I drive a Lyft passenger. Everyone gets a 5 star. You get a 5 star, you get a 5 star, you get a 5 star, you get a 5 star. Everyone gets a 5 star, because passengers will be able to see their rating and they'll see it go up or down based upon the rating you give them. And if they look at their app and they see their rating goes down, well, they're definitely not gonna give you a tip. They're gonna get pissed off, give you a low rating, and then not give you a tip. So last little bit of business advice I'm gonna give you guys is that you need to rate all of your passengers 5 stars unless you don't wanna get paired with them again. Uber is no longer a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 star option for drivers to give their passengers. On Uber, you have 2 options. 5 stars or 1 star. Either you would drive this person again or you never want to see them again in your lives. And just keep in mind that passengers can now see the ratings in their app very easily. So if their rating goes down, they're not going to give you a tip. If your rating goes up, they might be a little bit more obliged to do it. This has been common practice for those of us who have been doing Lyft for years now. Every Lyft passenger is a potential tipper, so you give 5 stars to every single passenger, and you try to do it as fast as you can so they can see you give them 5 stars. Now, Uber was different for a long time because one, passengers couldn't see their rating very easily, so most of them didn't know what was going on. And 2, there was no in-app tipping, so if they give you cash, you give them 5 stars. If they don't give you cash, then you tell them to go fuck off and you give them a low rating. We can't do that anymore. Now, everyone who drives Uber is on 5 stars. That's just the way it works and going forward. So I hope this quick video was helpful for you guys, so you have more information on tipping. And over the next 180 days, all of you will also get this feature. So I guess get out there and go make some money, guys. Deuces. Hey guys, I hope you liked that video. If you did, go ahead and hit like, thumbs up, and go ahead and leave a comment and subscribe. You hit this button here. There are also going to be 2 videos here and here if you'd like to watch some more. And don't forget to hit the little bell icon that you have on your YouTube so you can get updates when I leave them. Thanks guys, bye.